And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live. We're on the road today, as we are. We're at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on this Monday, 9/11. Yeah, 22 years ago, those not-so-nice people, a.k.a. scumbags, bombed this country 22 years ago, 9/11. So, don't get me started. My blood still boils over that. Where were you when it all happened, I guess, would be the way to look at that. Again, that was back on this day 22 years ago, 2001, 9/11, when it changed this country for all intents and purposes, and so we haven't been the same since. Some say for the better, some say for the worse. That'd be your call, what you think. But that's where we are. We got lots to talk about today. Doug Fritz is going to be here. He's just in a few minutes right around the corner. Rich is here. We'll get Rich in the seat real quick. He wants to talk about Schlegel Fest coming up again this weekend. Big festival here in Elizabeth. Then Doug's here. High school football. Daniel Boone, Morristown West. We've heard all about it. Cyclones aren't playing. Greenville's not playing this week. I'm going to get his take on it. See what he thinks about all this craziness in high school football and how do you fix it. I got a solution. I'll run it past Mr. Fritz, see what he thinks about it. College football top 25's out this week. New poll, Tennessee drops. A couple teams go up. Some surprises, some not so surprises. I called a couple of the games. Told you Texas A&M would get beat. They're an overrated football team right now, and Miami showed them. And so we'll talk about that. NFL, how about it? My boys, listen to me, print the Super Bowl tickets for the Raiders. We beat the Broncos 17-16. Probably lucked. I didn't even say it. They probably lucked out to win the darn thing. Anyway, we'll take a look at the NFL. Major League Baseball, big matchups this week. It's getting tight going down the stretch for the playoffs, so lots going on. We'll tell you all about it. We'll be here for the duration. Let's jump in here and get it going, the national anthem. Rich is going to get in the seat and tell us about Schlegel Fest coming up this week. But first, here is the national anthem. Let's get it going. When I hit the magic button, it will be the Kingdom Heirs here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Show number 1925, 75 shows away from 2,000. Here are the Kingdom Heirs on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Look who stopped by, Rich McDougal from Schlegel Fest. Big event coming up this weekend. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Doing great today.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming. And we got the Schlegel Fest going on. It's this weekend. The times and the dates are when?
So we're going to be getting the gates opened at 11 o'clock. First band goes on at 12 noon
On Saturday?
on Saturday.
Okay. 11 o'clock, gates open. Band cranks up 12 noon. Who are the bands?
So we're going to have it opening up with Appalachian Sojourn. Not real well known, but these are folks from a very prominent local bluegrass program at our big university. But because they're coming in separate from the university. We're not going to mention the university's name, but they are incredible musicians from that bluegrass program.
Appalachian Sojourn.
Appalachian Sojourn.
Group number 1. Number 2 is
Servility.
Servility.
The group from here in Carter County just cut their first album, getting some great reviews. We're going to have after Servility around 2:30, Clayton Potter Band. They're from Bristol and Kingsport, a huge following over there. After them, we'll have Taylor Joel. That'll be around 4. We've got some times. Obviously, these are approximations. After Taylor Joel, we have Strangers When We Meet. After Strangers
name.
When We Meet, we have a young kid from Bristol, a young little rapper hip-hop guy, 17 from New Jersey. He's coming in, just moved to Bristol, huge following coming in. And then we're going to close things out at 8 o'clock with The Kindest People from Johnson City. They've been touring all over the region, getting huge crowds. We do things a little differently. We're going to have 2 stages down in our field, so there's very little downtime with the music.
Oh, that was really cool. When she told me that before, I thought, how smart. Boom. I mean, there's no, a lot of times you go to these concerts, there's like 30 or 40 minute downtime, and you're twiddling your thumb trying to figure out what to do. In this case, it's continuous.
We average about 10 minutes between acts.
That's awesome.
And that way,
That's a good move.
while one's unloading and getting their stage set up, the other group is playing. And we really go do a great job. A smaller band, a 2-piece, or 1 singer-songwriter gets a chance to get out there for 45 minutes to an hour and do their thing, and while the other band is getting their stage ready to go, and so we just have to sound check and
Away you go.
Yep.
Yeah. We're talking to Rich McDougall against Schlegelfest this coming Saturday here in Carter County. How much are tickets, sir?
If you can get a hold of us this week, get a hold of the Yoga Farm, myself, or Carrie Maggard, $15. You can also go to Eventbrite and also buy the tickets. The day of, it's going to be $20.
$20. Lawn chairs, blankets.
Bring chairs, blankets. We're going to have food vendors there. We're going to have Tin Cup Diner. We're going to have fire pizza. Appalachian Sun will be serving the beverages we all like to drink.
That's cool.
You bring lawn chairs, bring anything that you want. If you have stuff that you want to cook, we're going to let anybody bring whatever they want with them to have a good time for the day.
Pets allowed?
Absolutely, pets.
Pets
on
are allowed.
Leash,
On a leash. Sure. That goes without saying, but yeah.
We also have some camping down there if anybody wants to stay the night or wants to come out and camp out the night before and be there for when it all gets started in the morning. That's also, we have that available at the Yoga Farm.
Cool stuff. Starts, gates open at 11. All gets started at 12. How many total bands do you have? About 5 or 6?
We have 7 bands.
7 bands. All right. Real quick, go ahead and tell us who the sponsors are.
So, without these folks, we don't get to do this. We're not rich folks, but we really want to get out here and try to show everybody the great music in the area. Citizens Bank, Dino's restaurant here in downtown Elizabeth, the Northeast Community Credit Union, H.T. Hackney, the Riverside Tap House, Big John's Closeouts, also Bonnie K Theater, and of course Yoga Farm. Some Old Friends, the band, we're sponsoring some of this that's going on, making sure we have power. Appalachian Artists Live, we wouldn't be able to do this without Kevin Edwards, who runs that. He helped get all of these bands together for us and helped us organize it. And Downspout Records, one of the members of Kindest People, has helped put all of our promotional material together, and he owns Downspout. And has made, without him, we wouldn't have been able to promote the way we have this year.
So people are listening here in different areas around the Tri-Cities to the show. So tell me in general terms, how do we get there?
Come to Elizabethton, turn, you're going to Bristol. If you're coming from Johnson City, you're going to turn at the McDonald's towards Bristol, and Schlegel Road will be 2.5 miles. It'll be on your left. We are going to have signs and make with some balloons on them to make sure. If you're coming from the Bristol Piney Flats area, as you come to Elizabethton, there's a Dollar General on the right, and that's how you'll cut across. We'll also have signs there to make it real obvious where to cut across.
There you go. That's the key. We'll have some good signage, get you in. Again, weather's supposed to be perfect on Saturday. It's supposed to be fall-like, 70s and 50s. It's going to be a great day. Come out and watch some great music. Tickets are $15 now, 20 at the door or at the gate. And so, coming up Saturday, Schlegelfest. Good job. Way to It's good stuff. Appreciate you coming by.
It's a great place. The field is a perfect amphitheater. You will not find an outdoor venue with natural acoustics any better than where we're located.
That's awesome. Rich McDougal, I thank you, sir, for coming by. Good job.
Absolutely.
Get you some lunch. Thanks for coming on behalf of
Thank you.
Chick-fil-A.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Good job. Quick break. We'll be right back. Doug Fritz joins us. He's in the house. He'll join us next, and we got lots to talk about. High school football, Daniel Boone, Morristown West, Greenville, Elizabeth, and lots on the plate. High school football in general. He joins us next on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So we're at Brummett Sports Shop in Elizabeth, and Lori Wilson, the owner, and one of the hot items going into the holidays are varsity jackets or Letterman jackets. Tell us about it.
Well, Tom, we do varsity jackets for all our local schools. These are Holloway jackets, and the body is 24-ounce wool, and then most of the jackets we will get leather sleeves on them. We can also do the wool sleeves. But like I said, they're Holloway, so they're high-quality jackets. We can do any color for any school. We will put your school letter on the front, your name. See, this one has a name. We also have a local lady here that makes the patches. So the turnaround time is really pretty short for a custom jacket. The other thing we will do is if you play a sport, we will put a ball patch with your number in it, your varsity years that you played. We can do inserts, like we do a cross for FCA. We can do ball inserts if you play basketball or football or whatever. We also have band jackets. So here we have a band letter for this young lady. And one other thing we do are like custom patches, embroidered patches. So she plays mellophone and French horn, so she requested that. So we put that on her jacket. If you're all conference, if your team won the conference, we can do that. Let's see, on the back of the jackets, we can do either the, like the nickname for your school. So this is Betsy Band. We also have Vikings for Tennessee High, Pioneers for Crockett, Greenville for the Greenville jacket. Another option for the back of the jacket is we can do your name and number.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and then also we have position patches. So C for center, or we had one earlier that someone picked up, point guard, so that was PG and SG. But we do all local schools. Like I said, they're Holloway, so they're good quality jackets, and we sell a lot of them. And the kids love these jackets. They love to show off their accomplishments, their team's accomplishments, and represent their school.
Tell us how we can get a hold of you.
Okay, our phone number is 423-542-2321. We also have a Facebook page, Brummett Sports Shop, so you can message me there. You can message me on my personal Facebook page, Lori Wilson, or you can email at brummittstn, that's BRUMITSTN @charter.net. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken. Literally, the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well. So there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Look who stopped by. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Brother in Christ, first and foremost. Our buddy Doug Fritz. How you doing, sir?
Doing very good. How are you?
Doing good. May I start this segment by giving the verse of the day? We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. I continue to get positive comments off of what this young man did, the article he wrote. Can't thank him enough. So here we go. Let's go with, pull this one up here, Psalms 17:6 says, I call on you, O God, for you will answer me. Give ear to me and hear my prayer. Pretty good assurance in it, sir.
Yes, sir.
I call on you, O God, for you will answer me and give ear to me and hear my prayer. Guy yesterday in Sunday school said, what if God treated us like we treated him? What if we were as dedicated to him as he is, what if he has dedicated us as we are to him? Don't get me started. So, it's just leave it at that. I don't want to get into preaching and pontificating, but it's true. We put him on the shelf till we need him. The rest of the time, basically, we don't need him until there's a crisis. And it's like, where are you? And you know what? It says right there, he'll answer you. He doesn't have to. We wouldn't. If you needed me and I was never around until there was a fire, the Titanic was sinking, you'd think, gosh, you can't depend on this guy. He's not there when I need him. God's always there. He'll answer your prayer. So, hello, Pete Taylor. Hello, Lucas Andrews, Jordan Mitchell, Reba Whitehead, Dixie McDuffie. Thank you all for watching the show. We are live here at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton. My dear friend Doug Fritz is here. Gosh, I guess we start with the obvious. Daniel Boone, Morristown West. Weather got him Friday night. Got us Friday night. We all know about that. It's all behind us now. But they have rescheduled their game on Thursday. Daniel Boone and Morristown West. I get that to a point. This is me talking. You may totally differ. Doug may differ. But you got to reschedule the regional game. However, waiting till Thursday puts a crimp on Daniel Boone Elizabethton. Not only crimp, they're not playing now. And then Morristown West is going to play Greenville. Those games are off the table. They're not going to happen. What's your take? We all know about this. What's Doug Fritz's take on all this?
Well, I mean, the obvious easy thing would have been to play Saturday, but Morristown West had some kids that had to take the ACT, from what I understand. They also had some kids working, and your kids, they do their work schedules around the fact that they're playing on Friday night, and you can't just tell them, okay, now you can't go to work because we got to play this football game Saturday morning. And if it's if it's freshmen, sophomores, you're not going to play. That's one thing. But if it's your kids, you're going to be out there playing. So Saturday was a no-go for Morristown West. Sunday was a no-go for Daniel Boone because they don't want to play high school athletics on Sunday. And I know Elizabethton played on Sunday. I personally don't like high school athletics on Sunday. That's I especially don't like it on Sunday morning. It goes on, but I don't like it. I disagree with it. Sunday afternoon, I think Elizabeth played at 3. I wouldn't have a personal problem with that, but at the same time, it's like, to me, Sunday's a day that you set aside. So playing high school football on Sunday, I don't think it's wrong, but I personally just don't like. And that's Daniel Boone's stance, and I don't see how people can find fault in them for saying, hey, they have policies at their middle schools that they can't play on Sunday, so why should the high school do it? So Sunday, you can argue that back and forth. Monday, I don't agree with the teams that are playing Monday and then they'll turn around their kids and tell them to play again on Friday. NFL teams do that, but those guys get paid millions of dollars to get their bodies back out there and stuff. A high school kid, what you're telling them to do is Daniel Boone and Morristown West. You're saying go out there and knock heads and give it all you got for a region game, which is what you're playing for. And then you got to turn around and play a team like Elizabethton, or for Morristown West, a team like Greenville. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think that enters into the equation. Maybe a solution would have been play on Monday and push the Greenville West game, Elizabethton Boone games back to Saturday.
Give an extra day.
I don't know if that entered the equation. To me, that was a solution that didn't get approached. Play on Monday, push the other game back to Saturday. Then you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You got 4 full days of rest, part of Friday to rest, and then it makes more sense. That was to me a way of doing it. But they chose Thursday, and say, and as bad as it is for Elizabethton to lose a home game against Daniel Boone, which would have been a really good crowd and a good rivalry. The games have been close, as we've seen year after year. They've been close games. It's even worse for Greenville.
Oh yeah, they're out another game.
They've only played 2 full games.
Yeah,
they're 2-0, and it's going to be week 5's going to be gone. They're going to be 2-0. And now, and you think about this. Well, it probably won't come down to this, but if it came down to a tiebreaker with overall wins come into the equation, Greenville's out of luck. The most overall wins, because if they're in a tiebreaker, they'll have to lose at least once. So the most overall wins they could have in that situation is, let's say they got 5 games left, they could have 6. That's
Wow.
it. They're not going to beat anybody in the tiebreaker with 6 overall wins, so it's worse for Greenville. It's not good for Elizabeth, and it's worse for Greenville. And it's bad for these student athletes who put all this effort in. You only get 10 regular season games.
Yeah.
And Elizabethan, for the last 2 years, they only had 9? So now you've got a class of kids, freshman, sophomore, junior, that played. I know they got some playoff games. They got 9, and now you'll get 9 again. Unless there is a possible solution there, and we can talk about that if you want to.
Let's stick with this for a second. We're talking to Doug Fritz. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be. All right, so here I'm sitting down there tonight in the rain and the lightning and the thunder, and I'm thinking, they're down there talking to the TSSAA. And I'm thinking, okay, oh boy, I'd love to be on the final wall to hear that conversation. So they have no, unless I'm wrong, they have none, I don't think, and they need to put into place a weather-related scenario. NASCAR does it. Most of them do it. Baseball gets rained out to come back and play it. NASCAR has a race rained out. They come back the next available day, which would be the next day, and they run the race. That's how it works. Gets rained out on Sunday, they run on Monday. Gets rained out on Saturday, they run on Sunday. So, to me, TSSAA sits down and says, here's the new rule. This is Tom talking. New rule. Weather-related cancellation, you have 72 hours to get the game in, or you both take a forfeit. You both are going to get penalized. So you better sit down, the two parties involved, whoever it is, whatever two teams. I'm not even talking about Boone and Morristown West. I'm talking about any two teams. Set your heinies down across the table, put on your big boy pants, and come up with a plan. Because you're affecting cheerleaders, football team, obviously, band, fan base, concessions for the home game. So you got 3 days, all right? You got rained out on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then I'm going to put in the stipulation, your option 1 should be a Saturday. Option 2 should be a Monday. Your third and last option, as the last gasp, is to play on Sunday. That's what I would do. That may not be right or wrong. And so, you know, I heard him down the other night, so we can't play at 5 o'clock on Saturday because UT's playing. It ain't got nothing to do with UT. I know UT's the school around here, but you got a regional team, got to play. You can't put stipulations, well, we want to stay and watch UT play. I mean, I get that. First off, it's Austin Peay. Although it didn't look that good against them, but still it's Austin Peay. But, you know, Florida, Georgia, maybe, I get that to a point. But, well, to rearrange everybody's schedule, because, oh, God, UT's playing. Well, too bad. You got to get this game in. This is an important ball game. And so, as a result of that, you push it to next Thursday. And so now Greenville gets hosed and the Cyclones get hosed. So, and everybody said, well, let's go out and get another team. All right, you get on the phone and you start calling people and find out who's got an open date. Number one, who wants to come play. Let's stop right there. Let's hit it for the real basics. Getting somebody to play Elizabethan football or Greenville football, are you kidding me? I mean, it ain't like it's, you know, Slippery Rock, Botunk High School that's maybe, you know, that's a marginal team at best. We're talking two of the powerhouses in the whole state of Tennessee. Call you up, hey, you want to come to our place and maybe get your brains beat out? Because that's what's going to happen more times than not, because these are two really good football teams. So to say, well, just go, you know, I heard these people down the other day, these people fly around so half-cocked, well, I'll just get on the phone, call somebody will play. Well, who's going to play you? You got to find somebody who's got an open date, first off. And number two, you just don't pull a game out of the sky. They've tried. They've been on the phone for the last 2 or 3 days trying to get somebody to play them. I'm talking about Elizabeth, to no avail. So now they said, well, let's get the open date on the 20th of October. We'll just get somebody then. Well, in theory, it sounds good. But there again, you have to go back and find out who's got an open date on the 20th. And then you got to call them up and say, do you want to come play? Or what are you going to give me to come play? Or what are going to be some of the bells and whistles to come play? So for folks just to sit out there and do that armchair quarterback stuff, it ain't that easy. You know, the bottom line is, for old Tom, and you said this, Doug, and I will let you respond, Greenville's out of game. Their fans are out of game, whether you like Greenville or not. There's people in this town that can't stand them, and I get that. There's people in Greenville who can't stand Elizabeth. It's a big rivalry. I get that. But at the end of the day, we should be thinking about the kids, the student athletes, be it band members, cheerleaders, football players, flag corps, whatever you call them, flag teams, color guard. That's who should we be thinking about. And then number two be the fan base, because these fans, you know, they got season tickets and want to come watch and play. But so the kids get, you know, as you said, they practice all summer, they practice all off winter. Both teams pumping iron, working out, doing their thing. We all know that. So come schedule time, Doug, they want to play 10 games. It's on the schedule to play 10. Greenville's out 3 games. Whether you like them or not, their kids don't get to play. They got knocked out of DB, got knocked out of Alcoa, and they got knocked out of
Morristown West.
Morristown West.
Yeah.
So, Greenville's taking a hit. Cyclones have taken a hit. It's going to take a big shot in the athletic department budget Friday night because there ain't no game. So what do? I go back to what I said to start my rant. TSSAA's got to come down with a template and a rule and say, boom, here's what we're going to do. And you guys, wherever you are in Tennessee, not just these 2 schools, if it's Slippery Rock and Bodunk, you got to sit down. If you don't come up with a plan, you both take a forfeit, period. And, we're going to punish you because you can't sit down at the table and come up with an agreement. So
You said Slippery Rock and
Podunk.
Bodunk. I think it's Podunk, isn't it?
out in West Virginia, it's Bodunk.
So I like what you're saying there about TSSAA, and they should institute a rule. And now, what they should do is be very specific about it, and they should say, if you can't play Friday night, you reschedule your game for Saturday at. You give them a window maybe, but say 10 a.m. because South Green and Chucky Doak I think played at 10 a.m. On Saturday. And what you do by that, then you tell all your football players back in July and August, you say, look, here's your schedule on Friday night. However, you can't schedule work on Saturday because if we get lightning on Friday night, I have to come back and play Saturday.
Yeah.
And then also if the TSSAA makes it a rule, then in this instance where Morristown West said, I've got Joe this and Bobby that in ACT and in work. Sorry, TSSAA says you got to play. If that's your quarterback and your top wide receiver, you come out and play like David Crockett did against Boone and you just play, and if you lose, you lose. If they make it a rule and they come in and they, but that's what needs to happen. And now it's hindsight, and it's easy to see this. And I think TSSAA does need to come in and make it a rule. You have to play Saturday. Even if UT's playing Alabama, you got to play Saturday. If UT's playing Alabama at 8 o'clock and you want to play at 10 a.m., fine. If they're playing at noon, you want to play at 8 p.m., fine. If you want to avoid the Tennessee game, fine. But you got to play. And then if and don't even make Monday an option. If you get rained out Saturday, TSSAA makes a rule that says if you get rained out Saturday too, then you got to go to Monday. Whatever the situation is, TSSAA should lay this stuff out
There's the
and
problem.
not just leave it mishmash to every coach and AD from here to Bluff City, which is in Memphis.
If you're the governing body of the high school athletics in the state of Tennessee, then govern the body.
Yeah.
Make rules, put them in place where everybody starting the season knows. If, this Friday night, there's a lightning storm, stops the game. On September, whatever this Friday night will be, September the 15th, that there's a plan in place, and everybody knows. We're all singing off the same page. So what it's come down to, because they're not governing, in my opinion, it's like, okay, we're going to get on the phone, we're going to discuss it. Should be a discussion. It should be already in place. If NASCAR gets rained out Saturday night at Bristol Motor Speedway, because I was up there, used to be the announcer, and I know NASCAR would come right back and say, we'll either stay there till the last 2 raw that night, we got lights on the track, or we'll come back the next day. We're going to run the race. All right. So what should have happened, these teams should have played Saturday. Now, I talked to the Cherokee folks down in the press box, and they said this happened to them once before. It was volunteer. The big bragging right game with Hawkins County. They came back and played at noon the next day. I don't know what year it was, but it happened. So they said, well, we came back. I guess it was the weather related, they said. They came back the next day and played. Simple, end of story. You play on Saturday. Well, we may miss Texas and Alabama. So we may miss Tennessee and Austin Peay. So you got a game to play. Just any case in point. Anytime somebody comes up with a new event, they always sit down and go, okay, what we're going to be up against that weekend? Well, we got UT, we got ETSU, we got Rhythm and Roots, we got the Appalachian Fair, we got this, we got Fun Fest, whatever. They said, well, that's going to pull your crowd, so they work around it. So, but then they finally just say, look, we're going to have the event. Who can come, can come. If we sit and kind of work around everything going on out there, we'd never do anything.
Well, and the thing about this, too, you play with who you got.
Yeah.
And if there's 3 people that you got 3 players and they're all senior captains, I'm sorry, the weather impacted it. Get out there and play football. And the TSSAA does need to step in take it out of the hands, and they're most of these times, these storms at this time of year come through in the evening. So generally speaking, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, you may get some rain, but you usually don't get a lot of lightning. And those are more like these evening things that interrupt. I'm not saying it can't happen, but there is one possible out route that Elizabethton can run here. And
A down and out?
Yeah, and still maybe get this thing in. And maybe they've already tried it, and maybe that school said no. But Lakeway Christian is off on October 20th. And even though they had 10 games scheduled, they now have 9 because their game with Westridge was canceled.
Zapped.
So maybe you could, and if Lakeway doesn't want to come up to Elizabethton, maybe, here's my solution. Lakeway and Elizabethton play at Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone graciously offers their field. What Lakeway and Elizabethton play at Daniel Boone on October 20th while Boone's at Science Hill, and use that's field turf, so they're not going to tear anything up. And then Elizabethton and Lakeway split the gate or whatever.
Well, all right, we'll take it one step further. This is what I think Daniel Boone should do next year. This is me. I think Daniel Boone ought to consider, because it's home and away. This year they're here. Next year they're supposed to be at Daniel Boone. I think in light of what's happened, and I think Morristown West ought to do the same thing. This is Tom talking. You may think I'm crazy. I think they ought to offer, you know what? We kind of put you guys in a bind this year. We're all supposed to get along and try. We all understand that football's the money cow, and that, missing out on a home game is a big revenue loss. So Daniel Boone should say, you know what, or should consider saying, we'll come to Elizabeth next year.
That's not consider that to me. That's if Daniel Boone doesn't agree to come to Elizabethton next year. To me, that's gonna put a crimp in that rivalry. That series may not continue. They have to do that because they're taking this. And I know the circumstances and this, that, and the other thing. But if Boone doesn't agree to come to Elizabethton next year, then there's a problem there.
That is, as we say back home, the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Now, whether they do it or not, and whether Morristown West, where was that game at, by the way? Was it in Greenville?
I don't know because, well, it may be. We may actually have it listed there. See if we've got next week still has it listed. Should be down here at Greenville.
It's going to be Greenville.
So, yeah. So Morristown West should go to Greenville again next year.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, not again, but they should go.
They should go out there, yeah.
At Greenville,
and
not even playing at Boone and splitting the gate. That's not right. Boone at Elizabeth and West at Greenville next year. To Goodwill, Olive Branch. Sorry, we did the best we could. Here's what we're doing to help things out.
Now, the big picture of this is what has happened on Friday night is known as on the NASCAR circles in the emergency booklet we had, it is called an act of God. It's called lightning and weather, of which we don't have any control over. So it was an act of God. It wasn't like, the bus broke down. It was something we couldn't play the game. So under those circumstances, folks need to step up and do the right thing. And if the Elizabethton situation, I would expect Elizabethton, if the tables were turned, they do it. I would expect Elizabethton and Greenville to do the same thing next year. But in this case, it's not. Elizabethton and Greenville are on the short end of the stick here. And some folks, quite frankly, Doug, are painting Morristown West and Boone as villains. And I think the villain in all this is the TSSAA. I still say they have, the old adage, leaders lead. It ain't always pleasant. Remember Ronald Reagan said, the late Ronald Reagan said, it's not easy to be a leader. Sometimes you got to make tough decisions, but leaders lead. Arnold Schwarzkopf said the same thing going into Desert Storm. Don't want to go. A lot of sleepless nights making a decision to pull the plug and go, but he said leaders lead. TSSAA needs to put in place a template. It's real simple. We're making this real difficult. They need to put something in place because it's an outdoor event. Weather's always going to be a possibility, And in the event of weather, here's what you do. You reschedule the game. All right, let me ask you this. When you get a snow out in basketball, what happens? Do they push it 2 or 3 weeks down the road, or do they try and, within reason, usually within a week, or 3 or 4 days, they turn around and try and play the game, right?
Yeah, it varies. It depends on whether it's a conference game or not.
Right.
So there's a factor there, too. And you mentioned that about Daniel Boone. I want to say, Danny Good, who's the athletic director at Daniel Boone, Jeremy Jenkins, who's the head football coach at Daniel Boone, Tim Campbell, who's principal at Daniel Boone. These are top-notch, good human being people. These are super, super good. I have a lot of respect respect for those people and the way they do things at Boone. You're 100% right. Boone is not the villain here. Morristown West, I don't know those people like I know the people at Boone, but they're not the villain here. This is a situation where they made decisions that were in what they felt like were in the best interest of their kids,
Yeah, they
and
did the best they could.
nobody can fault them for that. Now,
No.
but again, if the TWA had a rule, because Boone was willing to play on Saturday, and if the TWA had a rule, you got to play Saturday. If you can't get it in Friday, then Morristown West would have no choice. And would that have maybe cost them a win because they didn't have this guy or that guy? Well, maybe. But like you said, this is out of human control.
We ain't gonna control this.
We don't control the weather, and sometimes these things happen. And it's like you were talking about a snow out in basketball. So if you get a snow out in basketball, and this could happen Thursday, some kid for Daniel Boone and Morristown West could get hurt in practice and miss that Thursday game. You don't know what's going to happen.
No.
So you just take all that off the table and you say you play Saturday. And
they should have played.
And if it's the third Saturday in October, you know what you do? You play Saturday.
You play Saturday.
Even if UT and Alabama are playing.
You can't work your schedule around, oh my gosh, we're going to miss Tennessee or Alabama and Texas on Saturday
And
night.
there's
Okay.
and have you ever DVR'd a game and then gone and watched it later? I mean, that's an option too. You get caught up in it or whatever.
There they are. That's the TWA right there. You're in trouble. So.
They're calling her.
So, another case, I know over here in Elizabeth, the Junior Cyclones, they're out there playing, I don't know, at 8 o'clock. I don't know if they play at 8. Sometimes I guess they do. I know they play at 9 o'clock. So, you got from 9 o'clock in the morning all the way till, I guess, midnight. That's too late. Probably 9 o'clock. You got 12 hours of work in in essence, an hour and a half, 2 hour, maybe a 3-hour football game. Should have been played on Saturday. Period. End of story. There's no reason. Well, there's ACT. There's always going to be something.
Well,
always.
And here's the thing too. You weren't hurt. You're not talking about 3 hours. There's 3:29 left in the first quarter. So you got 3 quarters and just a little bit of another one. You could finish that in under 2 hours.
There you go.
So it's
So you asking old Tom what to do? Tom says come back the next day and play. I don't care what's on the docket. I don't care if it's the Vikings and the Patriots playing at Freedom Hall and a tag team football. I don't care what it is. I'm being silly. But play the game the next day. Because now you've got, as we said, we beat this horse, but you've got 2 schools, systems financially taking a hit. And we know, everybody knows, no knock on the other sports, everybody knows that football is the money cow. So you take a home game away from Greenville and they pack it out because they got a rabid fan base. You take a home game away from Elizabethton, they pack it out, rabid fan base, and our first home game of the year no less. They were really jacked up come over there. So now Elizabethton doesn't have a home football game until October the 3rd. So now you have October 3rd, October the 10th, open date, I think is the way it is, and you wrap up with Greenville on the 27th. So it's, Donnie Moore says they should have played on Saturday. I'm right there with you, but they didn't, and so the train rolls on. So let's look at, let me run across a couple of the games off the top of my head. Jeff County beats Dobbins Bennett. What was your take on that one Friday night?
I was surprised. I was on my way back from covering Sullivan East and Unicoi. I was listening to the DB Jeff County game, which was it started the second half because they started so late. I don't think they finished till close to midnight. But DB was ahead. It looked like they were in control, and Jeff County won at the end. And Jeff County deserves some props. I mean, they beat Science Hill and DB in back-to-back weeks, close games, could have gone either way in either of them, but now they're sitting pretty.
Science Hill goes to Union Virginia, wins the game there. They needed that one to come back home. They're 2-2 now for Stacy.
Right.
Now they go to Maryville this weekend. So
it's tough. And Maryville's 2-2. And Maryville's, that they're just. Maryville's 2-2 in the regular season. They're spitting fire, and that's going to be no fun to go down there and take on a mad Maryville team.
Let's see who else is coming up on this weekend. Of course, we're talking about the Morristown West Daniel Boone game. That'll be down. By the way, it's down at West at Burke Tony Stadium. Let's see, Tennessee Heights, Sevier County, and Cocke County at Crockett in 5A. What do you think about those games?
It's interesting because Sevier County, Tennessee High, and Cocke County, Crockett, both Sevier County and Cocke County are playing tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see if Sevier County, I would think wins that game. So that kind of impacts how those come out. Crockett's pretty much hungry. I'm not sure exactly what their situation is, whether there'll be a full boat of players for that Cotton County game, but they need a win really bad. And Tennessee High coming off that loss to Morristown West, they'll get Sevier County on a short week, which is going to be a big edge for them. So we'll see how that comes out.
In 4A, you got Northview Academy at Cherokee, Granger at Sullivan East. In 3A, you got Friday night Chucky Doak at Pigeon Forge. In 2A, Hampton at Cumberland Gap and Eagleton Academy. Where's Eagleton Academy, by the way?
Maryville.
Maryville, okay.
Yep. New school down in Maryville.
Okay. Eagleton Academy will be at Happy Valley to take the Warriors, take on the Warriors in Warrior Hill. And single A, Unaka, Jellicoe, and North Green at Hancock County. The non-conference games, which are pretty good ones. Science Hill, Maryville, Asheville, North Carolina comes to Dobbins Minute. That's going to be a good one, I think. They typically have a pretty good football team. You have West Green at Unicoi County, Johnson County and Harlan County. You got Cosby at Claiborne and Union County at South Green. So my hang up is, here, you got me fired up about this thing, but, it all goes, it's just so simple. You put rules in place, what ifs, you had the baseball skirmish, you had to go down and, go in front of the TSSAA. And I get that, but I don't even want to brought that up, it's apples and oranges. But the football thing is, you need to have something in place. All right, let me ask you, this is your homework. What's the rule in Georgia? They have storms down there. What is the rule in Alabama high school? They have tornadoes down there all the time.
Or Florida.
Florida. What do they do?
Yeah, weather. Here's something I just thought about. This is just another rubber stamp, not rubber stamp, but a stamp of Tom Taylor says you should do this, TSSAA. And I just thought about this as we're talking. It just popped into my mind. So you get to week 11, which is the last week of the regular season. It's 11 weeks in the regular season. You get to week 11, Elizabethton and Greenville are playing, and they get into the third quarter, and it's 14-14. Here come the storms.
Yeah.
Okay. So can't play. Lightning keeps having can't play.
What are we going to do? We're in the playoffs.
No, this is the last week of the regular
regular
season.
season,
Last
October
week of the regular
27th.
season.
Okay.
So Greenville, and we'll say. Let me change this. Team A and Team B, because if I don't, I'll get in trouble. So Team A and Team B are playing. Okay, in this same situation, week 11, the storms come, can't finish the game.
Right.
But it's a region game.
Right.
Okay. So Team A, which is at home, wins the region if they don't finish the game. Team B can only win the region if they finish the game and win.
They win it.
So Team A goes, we can't play Saturday because Tennessee's playing. We can't play Sunday because their school system won't allow it. We can't play Monday because it's too short a time and the playoffs are starting.
Yep.
Can't play Thursday because the playoffs are starting. So Team A goes, we can't play. We're region champs. TSSAA has to step up and they have to make a rule, or they're going to get in a situation where somebody, and as well as I do, then when it comes down to it, it comes down to getting a win, getting in the playoffs, making yourself better. People wouldn't be, I got to finish that game. Some would, but some wouldn't, and that's the problem.
Leaders lead. Only one I know down there is Matthew. I'm not going to throw off those guys. It's a tough job down there. It's easy for me to sit up here, and throw off on them, but it's just real simple. In any organization, there are systems in place and stipulations and templates. I go back to NASCAR. I know it's the same thing, but they've got a rule. If they rain out or storm out or snow out, whatever, they try and get in the next day, or they'll wait it out and play that night. So the rule of thumb should be, this is old Tom talking, Friday night you get rained out, lightninged out, stormed out, whatever the scenario is. Let's say the lights go out. I've seen that before where the breakers blow and there are only lights. For whatever reason, you can't play the game that you started on Friday night. Your Heine's back out there on Saturday, hook, nook, or cranny to complete the game.
We left something out. That rule should only be in place if it's a region game. Because like Lakeway, Christian, and Westridge were supposed to play. They couldn't play. Okay, we're just not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a region game, you don't have to play it. The TSSAA should make a rule only for the 5 region games that you have. And if it's a region game, you have to come back the next day and finish it.
Yep. Well, here's one more strategy from Elizabethton's standpoint, because I do the game. So, all right, everybody says go out. I get a team on October the 20th. Fill it open date. Okay. Well, then you look at, if you're the, I'm not Sean, so I'm not going to put word, but if I'm the head coach, let me put it that. If Tom's the head coach, I'm going to wait a minute. October 27th is shaping up as the game of the year in the region. Always does, more times than not. It's Greenville and Elizabeth. So if I'm the head coach of the Cyclones, old TT says, I don't know if I want to play by the 20th. I want an extra week, get ready for my big arch rival, who's a very, very, very good football program. And we know that. It goes without saying. So do I bring a team in to play just to fill that slot? And I understand the ticket holders and all that. But do you come in and put a team in to fill that slot, taking a chance of getting somebody hurt, running the risk of somebody getting hurt or multiple people getting hurt or whatever, when you had an open day to get ready for your big rival? So then you got to look at it from that standpoint too. And I'm not a coach. I don't have that answer. But it is a variable.
I've seen that work to Science Hill's advantage, having an open week before playing Dobbins Bennett, like several years, and Science Hill's beat them quite a few times here recently, and they've always had that. Not always, maybe, but several times they've had that extra week to prepare. This year they don't. They're playing Boone that week, so it'll be interesting to see. Because I think if I'm picking my open date and I can, especially I think it's especially advantageous if you have an open date and the other team doesn't. You get to spend 2 weeks getting ready, and they only get a week to prepare for you. I think that's, especially in high school football, I think that's a big deal.
So as it is, if you're following Elizabeth, and they don't play again till next Friday week at Sullivan East. So you play Sullivan East, you play Dobbins Bennett, you come on to play Northview, Volunteer, another open date. It's already in the schedule because it's the way it fell. It's your traditional open date. Then you come back and finish up with Greenville. So, they got 2 open dates in the last, 6-7 weeks, all right? So, you know what the funny part about this is, folks? We've sat here and batted our gums, my daddy would say, for about 35 minutes. We ain't solved a thing.
Nope.
We just feel good about each other.
That's your fault, because this is your show, and you're supposed to solve things on your show.
No.
I'm just a guest. I mean, I don't have any power.
No, all this is way above my pay grade, I can tell you that. But I can assure you, if I was running down there, I'd have something in place. They wouldn't have to get on the phone and go, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want? Or not. In this case, they went in the locker room down in Cherokee, and they talked about it. I understand but they're making decisions the best they know how, given the scenario, and there's no, well, what are we going to do? Well, let's call them, and they always kind of roll it back down the hill, it looks like. So they being the TSSAA, Mike, put something in place, make them abide by it. Can't worry about what's going to happen the next day or what event's going to happen. And then you get into the academic side. Well, you're going to punish ACT takers for a football game? Look, at some point, as I said earlier, when people book these events and plan scenarios and events, most people just say, we're going to have it regardless. All right, the Schlegel Fest coming up this weekend. It happens this year before you were here. They're going to be up against Tennessee and Florida. They're going to be up against Virginia Tech, and I think they play Marshall. They're going to be up against all these top 25 games on Saturday. Guess what? The show goes on. It's like we're going to have the show, we're going to have the event. Who can get there can get there. That's what they got to do. They got to play the football games and not cause schools to lose money because we don't want to play on Saturday. Are you hungry? Now I'm hungry. I've sat here.
Yeah.
I'm working myself up.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Well, go get yourself something to eat. Thank you, sir, for coming by.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Polls come out today.
Yep, they should. They're
bit
supposed
later
to.
on? Yeah.
Yep, I've already
So.
sent mine in, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir. Yeah. We didn't accomplish a thing. Boy, we make ourselves feel important. Yeah, buddy. Nah, not a thing was accomplished except we're right. They need to come up with something, put it in place, and have a template or a go by to end the event. ... Quick break. We'll be right back. Big betting sale going on in Cannon Furniture. Here's Adrian to tell about it. And then coming up, she's here. The office goddess, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. Tracy Little, next on the Tom Davis Sports Show. Tell us what's going on, sir.
We've got some huge savings on Tempur-Pedic. You can save up to $500 off of an individual mattress. If you were to do, a full set with adjustable bases, split kings, you could save all the way up to $1,000.
Adjustable base, what's that mean?
It's the best way to sleep, to improve your overall health. It will raise your head, raise your feet. It also puts you in a recline position to just help you get more comfortable so you don't toss and turn through the night, which is, the main goal to get you better sleep. It'll help your breathing, stop your snoring, help better overall blood circulation.
Through September the 19th, Tempur-Pedic made in Southwest Virginia. What size beds do you have?
We've got everything from twin to Cali King, anything from twin to Cali King.
Yep. From Twin to Cali Kings. All available here. Tempur-Pedic, made in Southwest Virginia. The sale through September the 19th. How do we find you on social media?
You can go to our Facebook page, Cannon's Furniture there, and we also have Cannon's Homefurniture.com that you can go, which is our own website.
Here you go. Sale going on, folks. Tempur-Pedic bedding sale made in Southwest Virginia. Sold here at Cannon's Furniture, downtown Elizabethton. Proud sponsor of the Tom Bailey Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Be loyal, buy local, buy it at Betsy, and buy it at Cannon's Furniture in downtown Elizabethton. Love it. So outdoor activities, field days, vacation Bible school, ways and reasons we would want to give you a call, 297-1266, and say, we need trays, we need help. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. We've got nugget trays for, lots of little kids running around, love nuggets. And then if it's a hot day outside, we've got salad trays and wrap trays and fruit trays. Good to cut the heat, especially here as it's getting warmer. So.
297-1266. How many different trays do we have?
What did we say? 8?
8.
I think 8.
So we can go through them. Nuggets, strips, mac and cheese, fruit,
salad, wraps. We have sub trays, which are not on the menu normally, but you can get them as a catering item.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one?
Oh, cookies and
brownies.
Cookies and brownies.
Desserts.
There's your 8. There you go.
Yep.
297-1266. If you have a meeting coming up, you need coffee, lemonade, gallons of this, gallons of that. Tell us how you can help us.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a 96-ounce coffee, and then we can do gallons of tea or lemonade, and we can split gallons, do half and half tea. We can do Sunjoys. We can do all that.
Yep. Vacation Bible School. Folks are already starting to plan those, which I love, which means summer's coming. End of the year, outdoor activities, field days, and graduation parties, and everybody's already planning, which is good. And so this can really be your one-stop shop, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can also do just big orders of sandwiches, so good for just tossing and running.
And breakfast, you also will help folks out for a breakfast meeting too, right?
Yeah, we can do like larger biscuit orders and stuff like that for meetings or for companies or whatever they need.
So the trick's just to call her, 297-1266, and let whoever answers the phone explain what all they can do for you. Just
Absolutely.
that simple. So, and we can never go wrong with coming up Mother's Day and for any other time, a good old Chick-fil-A gift card that works wonders.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Gift cards are easy and a good gift.
Yep. We always talk about it at Christmas, which is understandable, but teachers like them, kids like them, anybody would like a Chick-fil-A gift card.
Absolutely.
And the monetary increment can be from 0 to whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. That's our buddy, Rachel Robinson from Chick-fil-A, one of our great sponsors here at the Tom Bailey Sports Show and Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. We are live. Kill that little red thing on the square. There we go. My buddy's in the house, David Collins.
Hi, y'all.
Hello, Amy Whitson. Hello, Pete Taylor. Hello, Jules Roberts. Jay got his first touchdown. All right. Good job. Whipped. What's that say? We got whipped, but Jake got one. Got him a touchdown. Way to go, Jules. I'd go back and see if I can watch that, see if I can find it. We're here live with our buddy David Collins from Collins & Company.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Now, on the football game yesterday and on Friday night, because you got a double whammy, we got to talk about you twice because we got rained out.
What about that?
Lightning out.
I like that.
Yeah.
I hope it rains out every time.
Yeah, so you get a double whammy.
Yeah.
You've got an auction that started today on 9/11.
Today. Yeah, collectibles.
All bids
All that
started
good
$1.
stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can read. Make sure I don't mispronounce these, but here we go. Die-cast card, Dylan R. 24-karat gold-plated collector cards. Several clocks by, is that Waltham?
Yeah, Waltham.
Waltham and Seth Thomas, which are really good clocks. glass decanters, large collection of porcelain dolls, David Winter Christmas cottage collection. Is that little tabletop? Okay.
Yeah, Christmas time's a coming too, you know.
Now, how do you say that one? It is 103 days to Christmas Eve. What's that say? Rue St. Croix?
Great Italian music box.
He didn't know it. So
That was great.
Rouge St. Croix Italian music box.
Till you went to school.
Wayne Higgins music boxes, Carousel music boxes, Fire King glassware. What is that?
It's vintage bowls that in the 50s had colored up bowls.
I got you.
bowls, you know.
All right.
Yeah, you know, your mama probably used some.
Norman Rockwell and Royal Daltham collector's items. If I'm mispronouncing these, I don't mean to. I'm country. Large selection of, I can say, CDs, DVDs, and vinyl records. Elvis Presley records. Home furnishings. All this on the auction started today. From a nice, clean home, all the bids total $1, right?
Everything starts at $1.
How many lots?
I think there's 500 lots there.
500?
Yeah.
Can we confirm that Office Goddess?
You know, our last.
What? 530? Yeah, thank you.
Can I say this? Our last, and this is a good thing about selling online. Our last collector auction we had, the Stony Creek auction, we had 372 bidders from one end of the country to the other.
Really?
Yep. 372 bidders.
CollinsandCompany.info. Get on there and bid. It started today, goes to next Wednesday. So, and everything starts at a buck a bid. 15% buyer's premium applies. All items sold as is without any warranties. I understand that. We've got property. Man, oh man, property's flying around here, folks. People moving in there all the time, aren't they?
Yep.
6 building lots offered on Dave Buck and Keene Road in Johnson City. That's on the old highway, right?
That's where you go up the old Elizabethton Highway, take a left on Dave Buck Road from the Carter County side.
Yeah.
King Springs Road, you turn right on Dave Buck Road. Anyway, it's in between Elizabeth and Johnson City. You're in West Carter County, and one of the hardest areas to find any type of building lot today on the market. That is absolutely gorgeous property. We've got a large modern barn on the property as well that's going to be selling on a 2-acre tract. All of them been approved for septic. We've got water there at the road. Really, really nice property. Great views, great location. Just it's got all the bells and whistles that you need for building lots. They're right there.
Fair statement. A lot of folks are bidding on these properties from out of state.
Out of state.
Yeah.
We have a lot of out of state bidders driving to attend our auctions.
There you go. So, CollinsandCompany.info. Go there and check everything out we're talking about. Here's one on Fiddler's Branch Road in Hampton. This would be a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home.
Gorgeous. That's a gorgeous home. Really pretty. A really nice private location where that's located at. Pretty area, pretty views. Just really quiet and peaceful. If you want a country place to live, country home, really ideal. A nice place.
Go to the website. This is not doing it justice. CollinsandCompany.info. It is a picture, a better picture on the website. She takes good pictures, doesn't she, Tracy?
Yeah, she takes real good pictures.
Yeah.
Are we talking about selfies?
Selfies, yeah.
Selfies.
Yeah. Mrs. You need to come over and stand to her. Come on. We're not going any further. She comes over and stands. Get this.
It's awful quiet around here.
Yep. Hear the crickets chirping. Yep. Comes the rose twixt the thorns. We don't care about the grease on your fingers. They just want to see you. So kick him out of the way. Just throw him out of the way. Good Lord, man.
You want my grease on you?
Yeah, just wipe it on the shirt. There you go.
Look there.
There's our buddy, the Office Goddess,
Ain't that
Tracy
something?
Little. Isn't she nice?
She's so sweet.
Just threw you out.
It's okay.
Just threw you out of
You
the
move
way.
me, I'll put myself back. I don't need your help.
Here's some property on Quail Ridge Court. Tell me about this one, sir.
Probably the last available building lot in Quail Hollow subdivision. Nice lot. They've done some improvements there. Of course, everybody loves Quail Hollow. Got the little club and the pool house and all that there. Really nice building lot.
Here's another one from Collins and Company at Powder Branch Road in Elizabethton. 4-bedroom, 1 fireplace.
Really, 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 really nice
4
home there.
baths.
Yeah, big home there. Sellers, they've lived there their entire, I think they built that house. That's Jacob's listing. Really nice house though. Got a lot of improvements there. Modern, ready to move into, and a large family home there. If you need a large house, that's nice. A really nice spot.
They're all over the place, folks. Here's one in Bluff City, and this goes for $399.
Historic.
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
That's listed on the National Historic Homes and I think that was the St. Joseph House. Am I right? St. Joseph Aspirin. So he was the guy that built the house. You know, who was from Bluff City or lived in Bluff City prior in his lifetime.
So the guy that founded St. Joseph's Aspirin lived in Bluff City? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
A historic home there. They've done a lot of modern updates inside. Really, really pretty inside. Got, I think, 5 fireplaces. Some upstairs too. So if you like historic, nice big yard in the quaint town of Bluff City.
Wow. That's awesome. They're everywhere, folks. Here's one in Jonesboro.
Jonesboro.
Gray
yeah.
Station, Sulphur Springs Road.
Yeah.
Tell us about this
Just
4-bedroom,
outside of
2-bath.
Gray. There's another historic home, probably built in the late 1800s. It's got the old wide farm doors upstairs, fireplaces throughout. I think there's 4 fireplaces in that home. 18 acres, I want to think, somewhere like that. Really pretty home, pretty lot, gorgeous setting where that's at. It's had a lot of modern updates done as well there. So if you want farm, you want acres, you want a farmhouse, there it is.
We got football tonight against Dobbins Minute at the stadium. It's JV football, 6 o'clock airtime. We're going there at 5:45 tonight.
Pretty cool.
Got to tell you about that. It's the only football game you'll see this week in Elizabethton. Tia Duggar's on the road Thursday, and the high school, as we know, is not playing this week. And we all know about that. All right, so Price Road in Elizabethton, 1 level, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Tell me about this one.
Everybody wants a house on the river, on the water. It's on Stony Creek. It looks like a river there. Really, an absolutely gorgeous lot. I'm not just saying that. It's a really pretty lot. Large home. You can have an extended family there. If you've got a mother-in-law or something that's got a mother-in-law suite, you could use there. Really nice location, not far from Elizabethton. Pretty views, and a really pretty lot.
By the way, the 2 tracks we talked about during the football game, Minton Hollow Road, track 1 is under contract, and Tracy said track 2's gone too.
Yep, over the weekend.
And Johnson Avenue's gone too.
Yep,
under
it's
contract.
under contract.
This last one is on Piney Flats Road in Watauga. Tell us about this one, sir.
Pretty building lot there. It's really got pretty views. It's got a long driveway into the property. Mostly sloping up there on the top. It's got a water line there. Hard to find that size of land for that price. So it's really a pretty little spot right there. Not far from, in between everything in the Tri-Cities.
Lots going on.
Can I mention this?
Mention it.
We've got auctions. How do you say it? Coming out the wazoo?
Out the wazoo.
Out the wazoo. So we've got lots going on. I've got a 60-some acre mountain track with that's up toward the Stony Creek way. You can see all the way to Kingsport. We'll have it online auction coming up quick. We've got other home auctions lined up, personal property auctions lined up. We've got home listings lined up. We've got a lot going on. For a small firm, we're busy.
Busy.
Yeah.
CollinsandCompany.info. That's where everything is. That's what Tracy, that's where he gets everything, gets it updated, right? Gets it on there?
Yep, that's right.
CollinsandCompany.info. She's eating your lunch. I like it.
What about that?
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody gets to eat around here.
She's wolfing your fries down while you're over here talking.
Yeah,
So,
I ain't got nothing left.
no,
Can I get more?
you can get more, yep. Now, last thing. A lot of folks may want to be selling their home going into the holidays, which is around the corner. A free market analysis. Tell me about that.
Well, we'll come out and take a look at your house at no obligation. We'll give you an idea of what the market value is, what the market's like, and what you can need to do to get your house ready and available on the market. So we'll give you a lot of good advice, and it won't cost you nothing.
There you go. All you got to do is go to CollinsandCompany.info, or the phone number is 543-5741.
Can't help you if you don't let us.
There you go.
You know-
Can't help you if you don't. Look at her. She liked that.
Yeah, she liked that.
She finally grinned.
What about that?
Yeah.
She's smiling.
She
at
liked that
us.
little slogan. We can't help it if you don't let us.
Yep.
You'll get your lunch before it's getting cold, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Thanks for being a sponsor, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He don't even. Tracy, thank you for being a sponsor. Obviously, one of you listens to me, so. I do. I know who listens. I know who drives this bus. All right, we'll take a quick break. She's in the house from Sycamore Shoals State Park, my little buddy, Leslie Shockley. She'll join us right after this break from, as soon as they hit the magic button, the good folks from the Jewelers Bench here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. What all do you have here at the Jewelers Bench?
So we carry an assortment of items. We've got Watchwise, G-Shock, Bearings, Citizens, Pearl Wise. We do Imperial Pearl, I get some from a company called AGI, really great company. Diamonds, we do all kinds from Shaw diamonds. We have lab grown diamonds, Pandora. Do carry classic imports, which is sterling silver items, and then sterling reputation, that's sterling silver items. PRO is sterling silver, diamond, 14 karat yellow gold. Spotto watch bands, stuff from Equity Diamonds, just a wider range.
Jewelry repair, do a lot of that, of course. And jewelry cleaning, all that available here again as we are here at the Jeweler's Bench. And so social media, how do we find you?
So Facebook and Instagram, and then website is jewelersbench10.com.
One of our great sponsors, Cyclone Sports, the Tom Miller Sports Show, the great folks at the Jeweler's Bench.
We have an all orange window, everything you can think of, walls, books, glasses, plaques, trophies, stuffed animals, flags, you name it, everything Tennessee orange.
It's there in the window, called a Vols window, and the obvious, a lot of fall stuff coming in. Tell me about it.
Lots of fall stuff, lots of fabric pumpkins, ceramic pumpkins. We got fall flags, we've got fall tea towels, fall tablecloths and linens. We've got some skeletons and mummies and ghosts, a little bit of everything.
So tell folks about the Eagle Center. Tell us where it's at and what it's all about.
Eagle Center is downtown Elizabethton, and we're open on Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5. We have antiques, of course, home decor, collectibles, books, lamps, handmade jewelry. We have art. We have just a little bit of everything to decorate your home, have parties, whatever your needs are, we have them.
Social media?
Have social media on Facebook, the Eagle Center Facebook page, and of course we have great advertisement with the Tom Taylor Show.
Thank you very much. One of our great sponsors, Cyclone Football, the Tom Bailey Sports Show, the Eagle Center in downtown Elizabethton. Back on the Tom Bailey Sports Show, look who stopped by, our buddy Leslie Broccoli. It's a cool day for her, a sad day, but a cool day in a roundabout way. I want to explain that. Of course, we know it's 9/11, the day those scumbags attacked our country, and I won't apologize for that. That's what happens, what they did, and killed a lot of innocent people. But as a result of that, Leslie made a career change. Tell me about that.
I did. I was teaching school in Houston, Texas. I'm from here, but Randy, after college, went to Houston to work in the banking industry, my husband, and I went down and taught school, and I was on my way to work that day and heard that a plane had crashed into one of the towers, and I was shocked. It was shock. Got to school, and they kept us informed all day on what was happening, and then of course the plane crashed into the second tower, and at that point in time I thought if I had been up there I could have done something, Lord. And I was sobbing by the end of the day.
Sure.
Anyway,
We all were.
the Lord and I had a big talk, and
Had a heart-to-heart.
yeah, we did. And he knew that I was a black belt. I don't know if you know that. But I was also trained in a martial art called Hoshin Soul that was a little bit of Hapkido, Aikido, and Jiu-Jitsu, close quarter combat, if you want to call it that. So
You're talking about you?
me. You didn't know that, did you?
I'll never say anything. I'll never even think about saying anything mean to her.
Okay, so anyway, I thought if I had been up there, I could have done something about it. So it took me 2 years to go through the whole process of finding an airline, getting into, being trained, and then getting into the air. But I got there because of 9/11. That's why I went.
That's a neat story.
I said to myself and the Lord, it's never going to happen again if I'm on an airplane, on my airplanes, and it didn't. There was an episode or two, but it
Oh, really?
never happened. Yeah,
So you're a flight attendant for how long?
12 years.
12 years.
Out of Houston, yeah.
Saw a lot of different things, didn't you?
Sure
Crazy
did.
people, normal people, all kinds of people.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of times we got a little iffy.
Well, by the time they would get to me, they would be so upset. It was my mission. Okay, you're going to come on my plane, and I'm going to make you feel like you're at home, and you're going to get off this plane smiling. So that's I succeeded in the thousands that I waited on, except for maybe 2 people. So
what a great story.
Anyway, had one close call where there were 3 gentlemen that came on, and they trained us not to profile, but they also trained us to in what to do if something were to happen, as far as after 9/11. And I had actually talked to 1 or 2 of my captains that were flying on 9/11. That's why I got in the air. I wasn't in the air on the actual date, but I flew 9/11 every day after that until I retired from being a flight attendant. So, but we would talk, and they said immediately, as soon as it happened, the first plane, they stopped airspace. In other words, wherever you were at, you get to the closest airport, and they stayed there, and they were on the ground for like 2 weeks before they would let anybody back in the air. I talked to one gentleman on my plane at one point, and I don't know how we got onto it, but he was Coast Guard, and he said he was actually on a plane that was not allowed to take off from Newark that had terrorists on it, and that would have been the 5th plane. And they turned everybody around after the first 2 planes crashed. So that one didn't happen.
So there was another plane?
There was another plane that was going to take off, and it would have crashed who knows where. But those people disappeared into the fabric of society. Who knows what happened. But I did have 3 gentlemen on my plane once, going to someplace in the Midwest. They were strange. They were speaking in a different language I didn't recognize, but at times it sounded like Spanish. And I'm like, and every time I would go up and down the aisle, I never sat down, waited on people constantly, and collected trash and did whatever I needed to do. But I was always going back and forth. And every time I would go past them, they would shut up, and they would just watch me go by like that. And then they'd start talking again. And at one point, one was in the middle of the plane, one was at the front of the plane, one was in the back of the plane. I didn't know the back of the plane gentleman was with the other 2 till the end. But he moved back to the middle of the plane, and he was over the seat back, turned around on his knees talking to the other gentleman. So I just kept going back and forth, and they would shut up every time I would walk by. So I let
There's a red flag.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got on the interphone and I let the captain know what was going on, and he said, just keep us informed, and we're not going to come out of the cockpit for anything. So I said, okay, that's fine. And at the end, I mean, they were still doing that, and he said, I'm going to tell them to sit down, go back to their seats and sit down, and we're putting the seatbelt sign on early. And I said, that's a good idea. So he did that, and the guy sat down, but then he's leaning around the seat talking to the guy around the edge of the seat. So I'm like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, something's going on, isn't
yeah.
it?
So at the end, we made it through the whole flight, and at the end, they came off the plane, and I'm standing right here in the cockpits right here. And first officer had gotten out to do his walk around, and the captain was still in there doing his thing, young captain. And the guys came up, and the 2 of the guys, one guy went off, and 2 of the guys were right behind each other, and the one guy goes, oh, I am going to be a captain, and I would like to talk to your captain. And I'm like, and those were the guys, I mean, that I was telling him about. And he said, oh, yeah, come on up in the cockpit. I'm like, whoa.
No.
So I'm like, no. So anyway, he got in, and he squatted way down. We were on the smaller jets. I flew the smaller jets for Continental and then United when United took over. So anyway, he talked to him a little bit, and the other guy whipped out his cell phone and started taking pictures. And I'm like, what?
What are we doing there?
I'm like, and then he goes, take a picture with the captain. So he's leaning in, and the captain's leaning down, and you can see the whole instrument panel. And I'm like, what? And he let him take a picture, and then the guy talks to him in the other language. He goes down some. So the guy squatted down more, and he took another picture. And they said, thank you, and left. And I'm like, I turned around to the guy and the captain. I said, did you not think that was strange? He said, well, yeah, maybe a little bit. And I said, those were the guys I was telling you about. He's like, oh. Oh,
Now I know.
okay. So, but they left. Nothing happened on our plane, but who knows? Who knows what happened after?
What?
I did call the FBI after that. I
What?
couldn't get a hold of the head pilot to let them know that it occurred, and that was the big push when the FBI was going, if you see something, let us know, we'll take care of it or not, you know. So I did, and they said they would take care of it. So
What a great
I
story.
don't know.
What was the coolest place? You were an airline flight attendant for 12 years. What was the coolest place you went to?
Well, we went to a lot of the resort areas in Mexico. I flew, like I said, I flew the smaller jets, so all over the United States, into Mexico, probably 30 different locations, up into Canada and then Nova Scotia. We did the Bahamas, but we only flew in and out. I didn't get to spend the night there. And of all those places, I think my most favorite was probably Savannah, Georgia, believe it or not.
Really?
I would always get a 2-day layover in Savannah, and you could go all around and, you know, check things out. Huatulco, it's hard to say, Mexico was gorgeous. We didn't get to spend the night, but it was a gorgeous beach resort, and it was on the Pacific side of Mexico.
How
Little
neat.
known area. Now it's becoming very well known and crowded, but yeah.
How neat.
Yeah.
See, you learn things about people. She's been coming in here for a couple of years, and I found out she was a airline flight attendant, and she got on there and got involved as a result of 9/11.
And I could kick butt if I needed
You
to.
really can.
Yeah, and
You still can.
Oh yes, and every time we would do our training, they would do these little teeny, hit somebody with a coffee pot or something like that on the airplane if they come at you. I'm like, first of all, how are you going to get to the galley to get the coffee pot before they get to you? And I would say, can I please show you a couple of things that you could do in close quarters? And they would always let me do that at training, so that was good. But anyway,
So you could take down anybody right now.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Nobody knows that. So.
Well, we do now. So,
yeah.
so Tom, listen to yourself, son. Be nice to Leslie. She knows what's it called, jiu-jitsu?
It's Hapkido. It's a form. It's a combination of jiu-jitsu, aikido, and Hapkido.
She knows Hapkido.
Aikido.
She can break you, snap you like a twig. Be nice to Leslie. You're coming next week, right?
Yes.
You're hungry for lunch today, right?
Yes.
Good. Do you want a milkshake? What do you want?
I'm
You will
just
get
gonna- I'm- no,
anything
I'm-
you want.
I'm just going to eat lunch.
Okay.
That's all. It's
I want to be
okay.
nice to a lady that can snap me like a twig. All right. So that's a really cool story. So, all right. I guess out of fairness, what were some of the places you went to that really didn't flip your trigger too much?
I didn't like California at all.
Okay.
It's my personal
Yeah,
preference.
you're entitled to that.
Sorry.
You're entitled to
And the
that.
time zone was way out there.
Messing you up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. I loved Nova Scotia. We went to Moncton and Halifax. I loved that. And there were a lot of Scotch Irish up there that came on down to Tennessee eventually. But the time zone there was like a time zone and a half. So it was real hard to figure out when you were there and why you were there and when you were supposed to leave. But beautiful, beautiful up there. So I don't know Pittsburgh. I didn't like Pittsburgh a lot.
Hold that thought. I want to find out if she ever got to wait on any celebrities. We've got football coming up tonight, 6 o'clock, 5:45 airtime. Cyclones and Dobbins Minute at the stadium. Joseph Taylor's going to help me from Ivy Hall Nursing Home. He's going to help me tonight do a ball game, which I'm very excited about. So please join us. If you can't be there, certainly listen. I know some folks watch us in the stands, so we'll have video and audio just like a normal game. It'll be tonight, 6 o'clock. We'll go in there at 5:45 right over here at the bank, Citizens Bank Stadium. And so it'll be Cyclones and DB, JV, freshman football game. So I think probably more freshman than JV. So, hey, it's football. And it's the only game in town this Friday or this week at the stadium because Friday night's game has been canceled. Celebrities, anybody you ever rubbed elbows with?
I flew out of Newark a lot. You flew out of your own hub, which was Houston, but I was in Newark for a month until I could get back to Houston, back home. So when they first graduated us. So we were there one night late, waiting to load the plane. The plane was late coming in from somewhere else, and then we had to jump on, clean it, check it, and then let people get on, and we were flying to Nashville. And Hugh Jackman was up top. I didn't know that. And the flight or the gate agent ran down real quick, and she goes, and I'd just gotten on the plane, had just gotten in, just walked down, and about 2 seconds later, gate agent runs down and says, can Hugh Jackman get on the airplane? I said, oh yeah, right. And she goes, no, really, he's up there and he saw y'all walk down and he's wondering if he can get on early. I'm like, sure. So I hurried up and did my stuff real quick, and here he comes. He almost reached the top of the jet bridge as he came down. He had his little entourage. He had a little, it was a little couple that was with him. And I said, hello, I'm Leslie. And they said, hello, hello. And then shook his hand. He said, hello, I'm Hugh. And I said, I'm Leslie. And he was the nicest person the whole trip. He got on and didn't ask for hardly anything. I was trying to get him to move to the exit row because his legs were up in his chin because of the seats being so close, and he finally moved. But he asked me if he could hang his leather hanging bag into the closet. He was going to present with Nicole Kidman that year and in Nashville at, I guess, the Country Music Awards. So anyway, I called my husband when I got to the place where we were spending the night, and I said, look and see what Hugh Jackman's got on tonight at the Country Music Awards, because that's hanging in my closet right now. That was one. Sinbad was on once.
Oh, really?
The gentleman that played, he was an older gentleman. He's not alive anymore, but he played Julia Sugarbaker's boyfriend and then husband on Designing Women.
Oh,
Hal Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook, yeah.
He was on there, so sweet. And I never asked anybody for the autograph, but I asked him because I felt really bad for him. He was shaky and it was right before he passed away, but I asked him, and I think it made him happy that day. Anyway, he was on my plane. The guy, what's the guy's name? He's with the Cincinnati Zoo now, but he always wore the hat and the vest and all of that. He was a...
Oh, Jim...
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he's come on Johnny Carson with
yes,
animals.
And he made me take a picture of him.
Did he really?
He did. He was deteriorating then too. But he came on and he started coming down the jet bridge, and I went, guys, I think that's whatever his name was. I can't think of his name right now.
Jim somebody.
They said no, but I got to talking to him later. Nobody knew him, but he had that same outfit on. I said, it's got to be him, and I talked to him, and it was him. And he said, I said, the guys were wondering if they could have your autograph in the cockpit. He said, here, I'll give you a picture with my autograph on it. So he did. He gave us all a picture.
I'm going to look him up here, and we'll type in, I guess, famous zookeepers, maybe, I guess?
Yeah, Cincinnati Zoo's what he's affiliated with. He does the Cosequin commercials now for dogs.
Famous zookeepers. How about this? It was Jack Hanna?
Jack Hanna. That's who it was. Jack Hanna.
I said Jim, my bad. Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna.
Okay.
Yep.
So he made you take a picture.
He had some glossies.
He made you take
8x10 glossies already made up, and he signed one for me, for the captain, and for the first officer, and made me take them. And then the lady across didn't know who he was, but when I started talking to him, she saw the glossies coming out. She wanted one too. So
that'll humble you. Trying to see where the kid is gelling. So that'll humble you. Those 8x10 glossies.
Had some pro football players on different times. Yeah, they had the same thing, glossies to give to people.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did. Whipped them out and said, "Here, you can have this." I'm like, okay. I was just talking to him about. Well, it was funny, but anyway, lots of interesting stories for another time.
No, that's awesome. We're talking to our buddy. Obviously, she is here. We got sports. We got baseball coming up, NFL football, college football, so don't go away. Tell us what's going on at Sycamore Shoals, would you please, ma'am?
Yes, we just got done with the gathering and our flint napping, but coming up is the big one. It's the Overmountain muster at Sycamore Shoals of the Overmountain men, and then they'll cross the river on the 25th. But the 23rd, 24th, they'll be camping in and around, staying in the cabins in the fort, doing their thing. And then on the 25th, they'll cross the river like they did many, many, many years ago, September
That's awesome.
25th. Yep. And then they'll continue on. Some of them will continue on the trail all the way down to Kings Mountain for 2.5 weeks. They do that.
Which is from here would be what?
It's 100 and some miles, 109, and it might be more than that. I know it's more than that because it's on the South Carolina, North Carolina border. It's where Kings Mountain is.
What else?
So
What
South
kind of?
Carolina.
Wonder what kind of time they made back in the day. Could they go
They-
a couple
they-
miles a day? Or
They
more?
went by horse and foot.
But I mean, how far could you go in a day's time? I guess.
Well, it took them 2.5 weeks. I don't know. We'd have to
'Cause it's pretty-
kind of half that up there.
It's pretty tough
I'll
terrain.
have that answer for you next week.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm gonna figure they can maybe go a couple of miles a day, maybe. I don't know.
There was rain and snow, is what Chad Bogart said.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I'll get Chad here next week to talk a little bit more in detail about it. But that's the big one, and it's coming up, and we'll have a lot of reenactors there. It's free, so if they want to come see what life was like 200 and some years ago, join us
Join
those
us.
days.
Are you hungry?
I am.
Well, Miss Flight Attendant. That's pretty cool. That's a cool story. I like that. I mean, that's really neat. So, and there again, the beauty of this show for me may not mean anything to you out there. When you sit down and get to find out, I always use it. You remember the Wizard of Oz?
Mm-hmm.
He's in there pushing the buttons, but in behind the curtain is a little man.
Right.
I always like to think, what's behind the curtain? And in behind her curtain is she was a flight attendant.
Yep.
And it all started because what she witnessed on 9/11. It inspired her to go be a flight attendant. And now she's at Sycamore Shoals. We're glad you are.
Yep. Back home and at Sycamore Shoals.
See you next week.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on the Tom Doe Sports.
Win Huddle, we want to create a positive atmosphere where all athletes can further develop their skills, whether it's strength training, speed training, football skills. We train all athletes of all different kinds from ages 5 to through college athletes. We actually trained our first athlete for the NFL Combine, Cameron Coleman, this past year. We got basketball athletes, soccer athletes, baseball athletes. So just contact us and we'll try to get your athlete to a higher level.
Social media, how do we find you?
Yeah, it's Witten Huddle on Facebook, social media. It's WITTENHUDDLE.
What about a phone number?
Yeah, 423-707-5419. Just contact me and we'll set up a private session. And then after those private sessions, you continue private session or you can join the group sessions.
Well, we're great sponsors of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Doe Sports Show. Coach Ryan Witten at Witten Huddle. Talking to Dr. Justice Smith, one of our great sponsors here at the Tom Doe Sports Show in Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports. A lot of them out there. What do you feel like separates physical therapy services from all the competition?
Well, number one is that we're local. The money that you spend with us stays here. This is not a large corporate venture that your money goes to Florida or Miami or up to Chicago or wherever. We are a true mom and pop facility. We pride ourselves on that, number one. Number two, we don't have a bunch of higher-ups, VPs, multiple presidents that we have to end up making a bunch of profit to be able to pad their pockets. The money that we make in physical therapy services, we reinvest back into the community. So that's why we have our Class 4 laser, we have our Ultra G, we have all the equipment that nobody else in the area has. And we can provide services and for the people of Elizabethton, of Carter County, Roan Mountain, Hampton, Stony Creek, Mountain City, Johnson City. That's why we have people from all over the area that flock to our facility because they know they're going to get the best care, state-of-the-art care with the most state-of-the-art equipment.
It's awesome. Can't top that, folks. Great sponsor of the Tom Doe Sports Show and Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports. Great folks at Physical Therapy Services. Back on the Tom Doe Sports Show, let's run down some top 25 college football. The polls are out this week. Who's number one? Oh, to nobody's surprise, Georgia, number one of the country. Michigan, number 2. Florida State at number 3. Texas at number 4. Then comes Southern Cal, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Notre Dame, and Alabama round out the top 10. Number 11 is Tennessee. Number 12 this week is Utah. 13 Oregon, 14 LSU, 15 Kansas State. 16th this week is Oregon State. Ole Miss holds down number 17. 18 will be Colorado, 19 Oklahoma, and 20th is North Carolina. 21st ranked will be Duke. 22nd ranked will be Miami of Florida. 23rd is Washington State. 24th ranked is UCLA. And rounding out the top 25 this week is the Iowa Hawkeyes. So let's take a look at top 25. Who plays who on Saturday this week? You have LSU and Mississippi State at noon. 14th ranked LSU at Mississippi State. These are the 12 o'clock games. 15th ranked Kansas State will be at Missouri. Then you have top-ranked Georgia hosting South Carolina. 10th ranked Alabama goes to South Florida. Texas A&M is out of the polls now. They dropped out, so forget that. Kentucky. This is the SEC. My bad. Got the wrong one. Let's start over. That's the SEC. We'll go to that in a minute. Let's start over. Top 25. Top-ranked Georgia will be hosting South Carolina. This is all messed up. Let's see what we got here. Let me see if I can. Okay, I just got two out of whack. All right, let's start over. 12 o'clock. 14th ranked LSU at Mississippi State. 15th ranked Kansas State at Missouri. That's your 12 o'clock games. Then you get into the 3:30 games. 10th ranked Alabama will be at South Florida, as we said. Top ranked Georgia hosting South Carolina and Sanford Stadium between the hedges at 3:30 on Saturday. 21st ranked Duke hosting Northwestern. 20th ranked North Carolina home to Minnesota. It will be 6th ranked Ohio State hosting Western Kentucky, again at the Shoe. 8th ranked Washington at Michigan State. 23rd Washington State, the Cougars hosting Northern Colorado. 24th ranked UCLA home to North Carolina Central. Also coming up on Saturday, you know the big one, down in the Swamp for the Tennessee base. Volunteers, 11th in the country at Florida on Saturday at 7 o'clock. 17th ranked Ole Miss hosting Georgia Tech. Number 2 Michigan home to Bowling Green. 13th ranked Oregon hosting Hawaii. 4th ranked Texas hooking up with Wisconsin. No, I'm sorry. 4th ranked Texas hooking up with Wyoming. My bad. And then on Thursday, 22nd ranked Miami will take on Bethune-Cookman. And let's see, number 7 Penn State plays at Illinois on Saturday. And that's what you got in your top 25 college football for this Saturday. Something tells me there's more that I'm not seeing, but because usually got some 10 o'clock games on the West Coast, but this paper does not show that. So, all right, SEC. Non-ranked teams, Texas A&M hosting University of Louisiana Monroe. Kentucky home to Akron. Auburn hosting Samford. Vanderbilt will travel to UNLV to battle the Running Rebels in the Raider Stadium. Arkansas hosting BYU. And that's your SEC games for Saturday. Of course, the big one for this neck of the woods, Tennessee will be in the Swamp to take on the Florida Gators. All right, let's take a look at Major League Baseball. Who's playing where today? Day game, Atlanta and Philadelphia. Charlie Morton will be on the mound at 1:05, coming up here in about 10-15 minutes against the Phillies. And Juan Walker, it's 15-5. Under the lights tonight, St. Louis at Baltimore, Washington and Pittsburgh, Atlanta and Philadelphia game 2 of that doubleheader. Michael Lorenzo will go over the Phillies. Kyle Wright starts for the Braves in game 2. So it's a double dip at 1:05 and 6:40 tonight. Texas at Toronto, good matchup there. The Yankees and Boston in Fenway. A little pride game there, interdivisional. Arizona in New York to battle the Mets. Milwaukee hosting Miami, good one there. The Brewers and the Marlins battling for those playoff spots. Milwaukee leads the division by 3 right now, but they're not out of the woods yet. Tampa Bay will be in Minnesota. That's a good one. The Rays, number 2 in the East, and the Twins, the leaders in the Central, going at it in Minnesota. Kansas City, Chicago, Oakland will be at Houston tonight. Cubs in Colorado. That's a good one. Rocky, no, it's not a good one. Never mind. I'm thinking of Arizona. Cubs in Colorado. The Angels in Seattle. Cleveland and San Francisco, and the Dodgers hosting the San Diego Padres. Your standings look like this. Baltimore by 3 over Tampa Bay in the East. In the Central, Minnesota leads the Cleveland Guardians by 7.5. And in the West, Houston with a 2.5 game lead over Seattle, and Texas hanging. They're 3 games back. In the National League, the Braves with a 15 game lead over the Phillies. And they have done something. They've clinched, I guess. They got Z, they have. Okay. Central Division, you have the Brewers with a 3 game lead over the Cubs. And in the West, the Dodgers lead the Diamondbacks by 13. In the wild card, the 3 American League teams, if we played today, would be Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Seattle. Texas, a half game out and very much in the hunt. Evan Carter, what a weekend he had for the Rangers. For the National Leaguers, the Phillies, the Cubs, and Arizona would be your 3 teams. Miami's a half a game out. The Reds and the Giants are a game and a half out, so they're in the hunt too for a chance to be in the postseason playoffs coming up at the end of the month. So went through the Major League Baseball. We'll take a break, come right back, take a look at National Football League and NASCAR coming up next. See what's going on in NASCAR and the NFL. Tell you one team that looked really good yesterday. The Raiders. My boys look good. I like it. Look good, real good. I liked it. Liked it a lot, as a matter of fact. We'll be right back after this. We're live. Let's take a look, see what's going on at Lingerfield Drug Center with the buddy Dr. Eric Carter on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the National Football League and NASCAR. Carter again from right here at Lingerfield Drug Center. We're going to talk about immune health and flu shots. So
yes, let's
talk about this right here, black elderberry, vitamin C, and zinc gummies. Tell me about this, would you please?
Yes, those are products, we've talked about them before, but especially with flu season starting up, we're seeing a few people coming in with it now. Those are just some natural products and vitamins, you may not get enough of through regular diet. And all they do is help boost your immune system, help you fight off any, viruses or bacteria you may get, especially at school or going out and about in big crowds and stuff. But we've got gummies, tablets, and chewable tablets about any way, that you might like to take them. But nowadays it's good just to have that little bit of extra boost.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably just go and get those. I love them. I'm out. I'll take them.
Yeah.
All right. And so then we get into allergy and sinus. Let's here's some show and tells here. The first one will be Afrin. Blocks in seconds. Tell me about this one.
Especially with people starting to turn the heat on, they're saying, we had a lady call this morning actually said, my nose is stopped up, what can I take for it? And that's one good thing about us is you can come in and talk to us and we take the time to help figure out what's best for you. But Afrin is a decongestant, and if you're real clogged up in your head, that goes in, breaks everything up, helps you get cleared out. And that's what these other two are actually also. Just a little bit different formulations, but a lot of people say I don't like nose sprays because it leaves a bad taste in my throat. And that one's a little bit different formulation, help it stay in your nose and not go down your throat. And that one has got camphor and menthol, like a Vicks Vapor Rub smell, and it helps open you up almost the extra strength, I'd call it, but that one is really good.
So allergies right now are out there, and what are folks coming in and telling about? I would assume leaves and grass and pollen?
Leaves, grass, pollen. Like I said, people turning on the heat where it's been all year, all that dust is burning out, and that's been my problem is bank has turned the heat on us a few days, and it's got my nose a little stopped up. But
you're going to make it through, though, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a survivor.
You are a survivor. Now, tell us how you can take prescriptions to teachers at schools. I think this is really cool.
Yes, that's something we've been doing a lot of the last month. Especially with teachers being so busy, and a lot of them have kids after school running everywhere, and we're able to, if you let us know what time of day you want it there, whether it be a planning period or lunch break, we'll bring it to you and meet you at the front office or out in the parking lot. And, I don't think it could get much easier.
No.
We like to be as accommodating as we can.
Absolutely. And they do a great job. Lingerfield Drug Center, downtown Elizabeth, and right beside Carter County Bank. Social media, how do we find you?
On Facebook as Lingerfield Drug Center.
Hours are open?
We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, and Saturdays, 9 to 12.
And the phone number?
It's 423-542-2138.
There you go. One of our great sponsors, folks, making it go. Love shopping here, believe in this man, believe in what he does, and his staff. They do a wonderful job. Eric and the guys and ladies at Lingerfield Drug Center in downtown Elizabeth, and proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show again. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Elizabeth and show number 1925. Emmy Morgenstern's planning a big hoorah in about 75 shows, of course, give or take. It'll be the first of the year. We're looking very much forward to being a part of that. And she's got something up her sleeve, what we're going to do to celebrate 2,000 shows. And we'll see how that rolls. So let's take a look at the National Football League. We know what happened on Thursday night. Kansas City knocking off the defending Super Bowl champs 21-20. Yesterday, the Falcons over Carolina up 24-10. Cleveland beat the Bengals, the Joe Burrow era. Didn't start out real good. Cleveland beat the Bengals 24-3. Jacksonville, I told you, keep an eye on this team. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags beat Indianapolis in Indy 31-21. Tampa Bay over Minnesota by 3. The Saints beat the Titans 16-15. Steelers got throttled in Pittsburgh by the Giants 49ers rather, 30-7. Washington beat Arizona by 4. Baltimore, the Ravens, home opener beating Houston by 16. Green Bay goes into Chicago and pins a 38-20 loss from the Bears. Eagles beat New England in New England 25-20. The Dolphins out of the gate over the Chargers in a shootout 36-34. The Rams beat Seattle 30-13 last night. The Giants the Cowboys all over the Giants 40-0. Tonight on Monday Night Football to be Buffalo and the Jets in New York. Aaron Rodgers will be doing his thing tonight. So he's in the house. Let's get him real quick. He is taking off his vest to come talk to us. I want to get the weather forecast because it looks like it's more fall-like weather coming in here. Jesse, the Storm Tracker Sacker. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir? Let's see if we can get this.
Get a little more.
Try not to mess you up here.
Yeah, don't want me knock me off the air. There you go. How's that?
It's doing good, doing good.
Yeah. Busy outside, sir?
Yes, sir. Typical lunch hour at Chick-fil-A.
Well, you can't
At
stay
12 to
long.
1 o'clock hour, it's busy.
Don't want Michelle getting on you. You can't stay long.
Michelle won't get on me. She's out of town this week. Says she don't know. Well, the cat's away. The mice will
do
play.
There you
That's
go.
how it goes.
All right. So,
But, yeah, it's humid. It's warm out there right now. It's a little uncomfortable. But like Tom said, we do have fall weather on the way. We're going to see a cold front move through here Tuesday night and a Wednesday morning. And then I'll knock our highs down to the 70s for the remainder of the week starting on Wednesday. So it looks good. Lower humidities, highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. May see a few upper 40s Friday morning.
Wow.
Parts of the
Here?
area. Yeah.
Tri-Cities?
Parts of the area, yes. So
Okay.
that's not too unheard of, but it's definitely a change from what we've been seeing. So cooler mornings, cooler days. We may try to sneak back up to 80 around the weekend, but I mean, with lower humidities, 80 is not too much to complain about. So I don't see any extreme heat in the next several days. So once we get past tomorrow, we'll kick the 80s for a few days, and then, should be pretty nice for a while.
So tomorrow's going to be warm too, right?
Yeah. So some scattered rain chances also tomorrow into early Wednesday morning, and then we should kick the rain chances for a few days and be real nice latter half this week.
Tropics, what's going on with Lee?
Lee it's been all over the place with guidance. I think if you're in eastern New England, you need to keep an eye on Lee. I think there could be potentially a hit there, or at least a graze from Lee. Probably tropical storm conditions are possible, I would say, with that system if it is able to go further enough west to affect eastern New England. But I think the rest of the East Coast is going to be okay. What's interesting is behind Lee, there's kind of a signal showing up in the maybe 21st to 25th time frame of September, something coming off of Cape Verde and kind of heading this direction. And if there's more ridging in place, that may be more of a problem to worry about. That's a ways off, and so we'll see how that goes when we get closer to it.
Mike Fraley says not a cloud in the sky, New Smyrna Beach. So there you go.
Good.
So it is hot and muggy out here. You're out there moving it, aren't you?
Yes.
Is the honey pepper pimento flying out of here is a big seller?
A huge seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some people coming through getting it twice a day.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about the caramel crumble milkshake?
Another pretty good seller, I would say. I think it's really good. I think it's one of the best shakes we've had in some time. So it's good idea.
Yeah. All right. Got a pumpkin? Do you think it's kind of a pumpkin taste to it?
Not so much. To me, it's funny. It kind of tastes like banana pudding. I don't know
Yeah,
that that's
good
an
one.
accurate assessment,
That's not
but
bad, yeah.
there's no banana in it, so I don't know why I'm tasting that. But yeah, it's got a caramel. It's got the caramel syrup, and then it's got the crumbles in it, kind of give it that extra crunch. So you've had it. It's really good, and
It
you
is
like
good.
it?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's decent. So.
Now, London, Saturday morning, we got up and we had to make a run to Chick-fil-A because she had to have the hash brown scramble bowl.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
With chicken
Pretty
on
good
it.
seller. Yeah, we can do it with chicken. We can do it with grilled chicken. We also have bacon or sausage we can do it with. And that comes with eggs and cheese and hash browns. So It's a pretty big hit. A lot
Yeah.
of people like it.
Hash.
You can do it with a burrito too.
Hash brown scramble bowl.
Yep.
She got chicken.
Yep.
And Polynesian. She could drink
It comes
the
with a
stuff.
jalapeno salsa on the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She got a Polynesian. She could drink it.
Yeah.
So,
That goes good with Polynesian, I suppose.
yeah. All right.
Sriracha doesn't hurt too bad either.
Who?
Yeah, sriracha. Sriracha sauce. You ever had sriracha sauce?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's a spicier dipping sauce we have
Sriracha?
available. Sriracha.
Sriracha.
Yeah, sweet and spicy sriracha. It's one of the dipping sauces here at Chick-fil-A. It's pretty good. It's a spicier option.
Ain't got no soup, beans, and cornbread, do you?
No, sir.
I'm country. Sriracha?
Sriracha.
Okay.
Sriracha.
Sriracha.
Yep.
I had no clue.
People,
I thought you-
some people don't get the name right though. It's kind of funny. They call it shalaka, sriracha. Same as the Polynesian. They mess with the Polynesian too.
That's what I would do.
The Tahitian
I
sauce.
thought you were joking. Sriracha.
Yeah.
I like to have a
Pomeranian sauce.
Comes in a little pack sauce.
Mhm.
Sriracha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up here tonight. What's that lady's name in the evening? She is hilarious.
Susan, the-
Oh yeah. She's
yeah.
I
She's
need
a-
me some Sahuchi. I'll just go over and say it wrong. That'll blow her circuits.
Yeah.
It don't take much to blow them anyway.
No.
No, she's a funny
hoot.
lady.
She is.
She is
She
a
is.
hoot. Great personality. Welcome, guy. You got that Sahuchi? Put that on my Polynesian.
I can see her the confused look on her face
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
She's gonna go.
The what?
Hey, you Sahuchi. I got some. I want some Sahuchi sauce. I shouldn't do that to her, should I? No.
No, I'd say go ahead for
I'm
it.
going to, yeah.
I'm here
going
till
to.
8. So.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to jerk her chain a little bit. She's hilarious. She certainly jerks mine when I come in here. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff. Thank you, sir, as always. So
appreciate being on.
Fall weather coming in here starting Wednesday, right?
Yeah, starting Wednesday.
Fall by definition, 70s highs, 50s, and
Lows.
some 40s for your lows.
Yep.
And then you're looking. The official first day of autumn will be September 21st. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that would be 10 days from today.
Yeah, that's out there a bit. The middle of next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First day of fall. So
That's
there-
right.
oh. You didn't know that. So that's sriracha's gone to your head over there. So
It's spicy. Do you like spicy stuff?
no, I'm the biggest wimp. No, I don't like spicy
gotcha.
stuff. Good.
I love
grief,
spicy
no.
stuff.
If
Wings,
if a glass
hot wings,
no,
stuff like that.
no,
Oh,
gosh,
yeah,
no.
man.
If a glass of milk can't put the burn out, I don't want it. So, or I can get something in here. Molly, that stinker. What was the sandwich came out here not too long ago? Is a spicy chicken sandwich.
Spicy grilled sandwich we had
That
last
was it.
year. We had that a
Spicy
year
grill.
ago.
And we wanted you. Will you try it on the air? I said, sure, I'll try it on the air. I don't know. Spicy can't be that spicy. I remember going, and making all these faces. What do you want? I said, can you get me a little thing of milk and a milkshake, like quick, because it was burning me belly. So, because I'm a wimp, and so spicy stuff, nah. So sriracha would light me up, wouldn't it?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this story, and I'll let you go back to work.
Okay, we're not that busy, so it's cool.
Well, it slowed down out there for the moment.
Yeah.
So I took a client of all people to a unnamed Tri-Cities Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Guy's got a suit on. I mean, he's looking the part, 3-piece suit. Take him out. One of my clients remains anonymous. And he tells the guys, I want some ghost peppers. I said, what is that? He said, oh, it's the best of the business. I said, well, what's it do? He said, well, makes you sweat. I said, oh, you want some? I said, no, I don't want it, but I want you. I'm not kidding you. He sat down. They brought him these little tiny things out of the back.
Goodness.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Little ghost peppers.
Yes.
I mean, they look very tiny to me. He popped about 4 of those rascals in. And I'm not kidding you. It looked like he'd been in a marathon. I mean, his suit was soaked. I mean, it was running off his
Mercy.
face. He was taking a napkin and sopping the sweat off his forehead. I said, are you sick? He said, no. He said, this is ghost peppers. It's good. I said, how can that be good? You're sitting over there. I mean, he'd take his suit jacket off. His shirt is soaked. He had a white
Mercy.
shirt. I'll never forget that.
I don't know if I like that much spicy.
So I thought, he said, what do you think? I said, I think you got a screw loose is what I think. I think you're nuts. Yeah, I said, why would you do that? He said, oh, it's good for you. I said, how can sit there sweating? So then he starts drinking tea. He drank 2 pitchers of tea and a pitcher of water before we got out of there to put the fire on. I said, where is the logic in that? I don't get that at all. So to put something on your body so much, you got to drink 3 pitchers of whatever to put the fire out.
It's got to be balanced with a lot of flavor. If it's going to be that hot, it needs to have a lot of flavor to go with it. I don't like to go quite that hot personally.
Yeah.
if I'm sitting there sweating, like you said, that much, it's not enjoyable to me.
Oh, I mean, it's
I like moderately spicy. That's why our spicy chicken sandwich is so good, because to me, as a person who likes somewhat spicy food, it's moderately spicy.
Yeah.
But, like, it's never, like, overkill for me. But that sounds like I couldn't do that.
The guy's got it dripping off his nose, the sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's been out and run a road race. And his shirt is soaked. His suit jacket underneath his arms got big wet spots.
That's
I thought,
crazy.
You are crazy,
That's
dude.
insane. Yeah, no, I don't hit that level.
But he signed the contract, and I made a sale, and I didn't care. So there you go.
That's
So
right.
If you want to sit over and sweat, just sign here, sir. And he did.
It just
So
took ghost peppers.
That's it. Took them ghost peppers to make that sale. It's been 10 or 15 years
You think that'll
ago.
work on everybody? Probably not.
No. No, I don't think so. This guy was nuts. Anyway, the sriracha sauce. Well, you know the honey barbecue I get?
Yeah.
Well, that's almost too much for me. So you know if that's too
That's
much.
spicy to you?
Yeah.
Tom.
He looked at me like, "You really are a ninny, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah."
That's. I feel like that's like saying that
Okay,
the
just
chocolate milkshake's spicy.
okay.
I don't understand.
You don't have to put me down. Just laugh and go away. Walk away. That's the way it is. What it is. So, I is who he is. You know, like Popeye says, I am what I am, and that's all I can be.
That's right.
So, shiver me timbers, Olive. So, you don't even remember Popeye. You have no.
No,
clue.
I know who Popeye
You
is.
have no
No, I
clue.
know who Popeye
You're
is.
so
You got
young.
olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they used to use the spinach to make him strong or whatever it was.
Popeye, get Brutus is getting me hell, Popeye. I'm coming, Olive. Oh yeah. So most people know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen the cartoon in forever,
Thank
but
you.
I do know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Popeye.
We were talking about cartoons the other day. I brought up the Pink Panther. Did you ever watch Pink Panther?
Oh, absolutely.
Love the Pink Panther.
Peter Sellers, Pink
Yeah.
Panther. Do you remember the Roadrunner?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yep.
Mimi.
That's Looney Tunes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acme. It always had Acme explosives.
That's
blowing
right.
Up, blowing up the Wile E. Coyote all the
That's
time.
right.
Mimi. And old Wile E. Coyote said, I got him this time. He never got him. Never got the Roadrunner.
It's like Tom and Jerry, same thing.
Tom and Jerry. That's another one too.
Anyway.
And Popeye. How do we get on that?
Why don't we talk about something fun like snow? No, I'm just kidding.
It's time for you to go.
It's time for me
Time for you to go. That's your cue. He's out.
Any minute now.
That's like cussing me. Getting ready to talk about snow.
Have a good
Thank
day,
you, Jesse
Tom.
Storm Tracker Sacker. All right. If we're going to the tropics, what do we do?
Carolina Weather Authority. I'm over there with meteorologist Mike Griffith, and we'll be keeping an eye on. Lee won't have direct impacts, but you'll see some swelling and maybe some higher tides from Lee and the Carolinas on the coast this week. But then we'll be watching that signal on downstream, like I told you about, maybe, last week of September, so maybe something pop up. So follow us over there, see if anything pops. We will let you know.
This was a great segment. You brought up snow. Now you kind of put a wet blanket and kind of a downer on it, the whole thing. So, see you. I'll be back
Snow
Wednesday.
gets me in a good mood.
You here Wednesday?
I am.
I'll see you Wednesday.
All right, sounds
So,
good.
There you go.
We can talk about snow.
Had to get that parting shot, didn't he? Yep. He just does me that way all the time. Great kid. He's a kid. He's a great young man. So, all right, let's run down before we get out of here. NFL schedule for this week coming up. We got one more tonight, as we told you, the Buffalo Bills and Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets, and then we crank into the new week number 2. Thursday night football, the Vikings will be in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Okay, make sure I'm not messing up here. No, it's the same week. Okay. Last week I told you we had NFL football and it was a week out, so because I'm wired around and wide open all the time. Don't pay attention half the time what I'm doing. All right, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the NFL, the Bears will be in Tampa Bay. Bengals hosting Baltimore. The Falcons will have the Packers in town. Indianapolis will go to Houston. Jacksonville and Kansas City. Big football game there. I'm telling you, the Jags and Trevor Lawrence, they may have something going on down in Jacksonville. It's a pretty big win, I think, to go to the Colts and beat Indianapolis yesterday. Titans will be home to the Chargers on Sunday in Nashville, their home opener. And the boys will be on the road again for the second consecutive week. The Raiders will be in Buffalo getting ready to kick their tail at Highmark Stadium at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan. Win, lose, or tie, I'm a Raider till I die. Seattle, Detroit, San Francisco 49ers, as they won big the other day, they throttled their opponent. Who was it again they beat like a drum? San Francisco beat Pittsburgh, beat the Steelers 30-7. They'll be in L.A. to battle the Rams. Giants, who got shut out last night 40-0, will be in Arizona. Other games next week, the Cowboys home opener against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. next Sunday afternoon. Washington at Denver, and the Patriots hosting Miami in an early AFC matchup. Next Monday night, it's a doubleheader. The Saints in Carolina to battle the Panthers in Charlotte, and the Steelers stay at home to take on the Cleveland Browns. Big backyard rivalry there in the National Football League next week. Tennis, Novak Djokovic defeated his opponent on Sunday to win the U.S. Open and claim a 24th major championship, matching Margaret Court for the most Grand Slam titles in tennis history. Already on top of the men's slam list, has now moved one major singles title ahead of Serena Williams to become the first player to win 24 major championships. Check this out. This is a pretty impressive stat, folks. 1/3 of his majors he has played in, he's won. He's got 24 titles and 72 appearances. He's reached the final in exactly half of the slams in which he's competed. Novak Djokovic. Now, this is the really cool stat, I think. For the third time in his career, Novak Djokovic has made it to the finals all 4 majors in the same year. That would be the French Open, the Australian Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. Been to the finals of all 4 of those majors in the same year 3 times now. Djokovic. Pretty cool stuff. Most years with 3 or more major titles you've won in the same year. Margaret Court, Steffi Graf, don't forget her. She was a heck of a player. Married Andre Agassi. Djokovic, and just passed Roger Federer. So the most years with 3 or more major titles, all time, Margaret Court with 5, Steffi Graf with 5, and now Novak Djokovic with 4. It's pretty impressive. Very impressive. Tyler Reddick was impressive. Wins the race in Kansas in overtime, won Sunday's Hollywood Casino 400. Reddick beat Joe Gibbs Racing driver and the co-owner of his team, Denny Hamlin, beat his boss, in essence, to the finish line by .327 seconds. Hamlin led 63 laps and was more than 2 seconds ahead of Reddick when the playoff driver Chris Buescher blew a right rear tire and brought out a caution. They stacked him back up, and Reddick goes around his boss and beats him. So, and Denny Hamlin said, quote, that one stung. They're coming to Bristol this weekend. It's race week at Bristol Motor Speedway. And with that, Cup Series comes in Saturday for the Bass Pro Shop night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. You got 4 drivers in trouble. So this will be a cutoff race. You'll go from 16 down to 12. And here's who's ready to go for that. By the way, Reddick, his second win of the year, first at Kansas, and number 5 in his career. Denny Hamlin second, Eric Jones third, Kyle Larson fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, Kyle Busch sixth, pole winner Christopher Bell seventh, Brad Keselowski eighth, and Alex Bowman finished ninth in the race. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go. So there's your top 10. Who's in, who's out, who's on the cutoff for the race coming up at Bristol Motor Speedway? It's race week. We got a couple of drivers making appearances. We'll tell you about that in a second. Here's the guys in trouble: Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell. Those are the 4 in trouble. So your 12 sitting coming into Bristol: Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and Kevin Harvick, his final year racing. Those are the ones right now that's still above the cut line, on the bubble, in trouble. 4 drivers eliminated after the race Saturday night, and right now the 4 in trouble are Truex, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell. But you know as well as I do, it's Bristol. Anything can happen, and normally does. So those guys are in trouble coming in, but they can fix themselves pretty quick. But 4 drivers will be knocked out of the chance for a championship after the race on Saturday, the Bass Pro Shop night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. All right, driver appearances: truck driver, NASCAR Truck Series driver Stephen Malazzi, hope I'm saying it right, will be at Food City in Blumpville on Thursday at 8:30 in the morning for an autograph signing. Then later on Thursday, Justin Allgaier will be in Blumpville. He'll be there at 3:30 on Thursday. driving the number 7 Chevrolet Camaro for Junior Motorsports. He'll be at the Blumpville Food City on Thursday at 3:30. Autographs on the first come, first served basis to the first 150 people to get a wristband. Wristbands will be distributed to the first 150 in line to the Blumpville store. So there you go. That's coming up on Thursday. A couple of driver appearances will be more popping up. We'll tell you about that. Tomorrow we'll be at Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue will be there tomorrow, broadcasting live. We're going to wrap it up here. Wrap it up, show number 1925, Wiz we are. Thank you to our guest today, Leslie Broccoli. Appreciate her. Also coming in would be, oh gosh, I'll say thanks to Jesse the Storm Tracker Sacker. Rich McDougal coming in from Slugglefest, and Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press Kingsport Times News. Cyclone football coming up tonight. Freshman football, 6 o'clock, 5:45 airtime at the stadium. Joseph Taylor and yours truly going to bring it to you, and we're looking forward to doing just that tonight. So back in a little while at 5:45 to bring it to you, not that far away. We'll bring you Cyclone football against Dobbins Minute, freshman football, 6 o'clock at Citizens Bank Stadium. Until then, wrapping up show number 1925, we'll tell you as always, bloom where you're planted, and win or lose, be a good sport. And we'll wrap it up with a verse of the day. We always dedicate our show to the man that hung on the cross. Today's certainly no different. And your verse will go as follows. Psalm 17:6. I call on you, O God, for you will answer me. Give ear to me and hear my prayer. Good way to end it. See you back here at 5:45, Cyclone football. Until then, we say so long. Show number 1925 from Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton. Have a good rest of your Monday. See you back here in